All right, everyone. You guessed it, Nate and Beth stopping on by, continuing our reviews of Friday the 13th, the series. In this case,
We are on episode 5 of season 3. Stick it in your ear.
gee, thanks. What's the name of the episode? Oh, that's the name of
That's
the
the name of the
episode.
episode.
So, I don't know, I guessed very jokingly a cursed Q-tip or cotton swab. I can't remember if you guessed anything.
I don't think I did. If I did, I was probably wrong. But it was, of all things, a hearing aid, an
A
antique.
cursed hearing aid, one of the first cordless hearing aids ever developed.
And this one kind of had a weak start, but a kind of cool ending.
I kind of thought it had a strong start and a weak middle, like kind of
Yeah,
dragged and dragged and dragged.
yeah.
And for the record, I think I commented on the video quality of season 3. I don't know if I've ever commented on the sound quality. The sound sucks.
Well, this is also one on a hearing aid, so maybe you need one. I'm teasing.
Appreciate that.
That was an on-air kiss.
Holy cow. Feel free to rewind, everyone. All right, on to the. Is this going to be an adult recording or a TV review?
I don't know. But like I said, it was kind of a weak beginning. Kind of one of those intros, and then
Well, that's how it's going
that's
to
how
be.
it's doing for season 3.
She
Kind of
doesn't.
the teaser.
She
and
doesn't
then
like
the
the
intro.
first part of the episode and then the opening credits and then episode continuing. She doesn't
Yeah,
like
I don't
it.
like that.
Well,
But it's not about me. It's about our fans. The
that's
whole 10 of them.
that's true. That's true.
So, do you want to describe it? Do you remember it?
Not really. So the guy's a guy at the beginning who's like just
Speeding down.
speeding down the lane, and we find out he falls out of the car. I want to say, and he's like, holding his head, and
Oh yeah, his head's like all.
and that while he's driving, I guess we get a shot of it, and Beth's like, "Oh, why didn't I think of that?
A
cursed
hearing aid."
hearing aid." And
Yeah.
he gets to the doctor's office, and I don't know, he pulls him against the wall and looks. There's this really goofy shot of the guy. It looks like he has a huge nose because of the lens being used, and I can't remember. Does
Too
the
many
guy get all
thoughts.
bloody? Well,
Well, he's like trying to just get it out, and he pulls out this hearing aid, and it's like this.
worm on the end of it.
I don't know if it's supposed to be a worm or maybe a vein or whatever. It's bloody, and it's like whatever probe, I guess is a better word. Like the deeper the probe goes in, the more it needs to feed, and how does it work?
I guess even though we just saw it, I can't remember. They say that.
It absorbs enough thoughts.
Did the doctor? No, the doctor didn't die. The guy died.
The guy died because he pulled it out of his ear,
and
and that's what we saw. The
that's
little
'cause
wormy thing. Yeah.
in the newspaper thing, it's like man explodes in
Man.
doctor's office.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you've seen like the Scanners movies and stuff where they got them bladders where they put stuff under these air pumps under the skin and do makeup to make the skin bulge. This is kind of started out pretty gory. There's blood splatting, and when
Like
the
I
guy
said.
exploded, it splats on the guy's doctor's face and stuff. So it starts. Beth says it's a weak start. I think it's a strong
Compared
start.
to the end, well, maybe I did get that backwards because
I
it
think
was a
you
good
did.
start. Okay, I take it back. It was a good start and then weak end.
Weak middle and end, but yeah.
So
So then the doctor, I don't know.
then it shoots to a nightclub where this act is trying to work it's like a blindfolded psychic mentalist, and this guy feeding lines, and if he says one thing it means I'm holding a watch, it holds something else, it means I'm doing this, so it's all wordplay.
A fake act
a
where
very-
the blindfolded guy guesses everything that the guy is in the audience details.
Yeah. So it's all wordplay, and he responds accordingly, and they think, oh, he's reading my mind. He sees what he's not supposed to see, and
The act is going well. I guess the bald
so the
guy,
guy's
he's
like, I
been
can't.
doing this for 20 years, but this new suave hunk guy is getting him some business until,
Well, he loses part of his hearing.
yeah, it's like he loses it on the spot, which seems really weird, but it's a TV episode, whatever.
True. It might have been a slow fade, and that night was just one of the last nights. What do you mean? What do you mean? What'd you say? And then maybe he tried to make it part of the act, or maybe he honestly couldn't hear, but it kind of damaged the act a little bit. So the guy's like, you need to go to a doctor. You need to get your hearing checked, and
You need a hearing aid.
ends up going to the same doctor in the beginning of the episode, and doctor's like, yep, there's damage and you need a hearing aid. It's not going to fix it, but it'll help it. Goes to take a phone call and says, oh, go pick out the kind that you like, because
The
you
kind
need a
of what? Hearing
hearing
aid?
aid. There's like 10 different styles to pick from, and he hears this like heartbeat pulse thing, and that's in a drawer, and he ends up pulling out the antique one. He's like, oh, you don't want that, it's an antique, it's old, and
A former patient, as if that means anything.
it was a former
Formerly
patient.
owned.
Like, anyway. But he puts the hearing aid next to his ear, and he's hearing things like
What's on the...
typewriting. Maybe he's on the other end of the phone. Maybe
Yeah, he's hearing something
he's hearing
that
something.
he couldn't otherwise hear.
Right.
He's like, damn, he's thinking to himself, wow, this is quite the frickin' hearing aid. And this thing pulses like a heartbeat, or like a heart, and has a heartbeat sound. So he slips it in his pocket and slides the hell on out of there, and he's now the proud owner of this cursed hearing aid. And
Yeah.
what's funny is earlier when they were going back to the dressing room and the guy's like, you need a hearing aid or whatever, I thought it'd be funny.
Ruin my look.
I thought it'd be funny if the guy says, I don't want to hear it. It's like, you won't hear it unless you get a hearing aid. I thought that would have been a funny line.
Missed cue.
And then the guy's like, I don't want to wear a hearing aid. I'll look like a dork. But his whole act is like being blindfolded, so his ears are covered by the blindfold. And I'm just sitting here picking apart the episode going, whatever. I don't know. Even though we just watched it, like, it's kind of a mind wiper.
Like, it's like, well,
That's because I guess not a whole hell of a lot happens. And then I guess,
there's only 5
there's
kills.
5 deaths, and of
5
course
deaths.
the fifth one being the perpetrator guy himself. Somewhere along the line, this guy ends up meeting up with this hot blonde who's probably a producer or something on this bigwigs TV talk show, and
Oh yeah.
she
Skyrocketing to the top.
they get together and have some adult relations, and
He's reading her mind the entire night.
yeah, more.
And that's kind of how we
baby.
figure out how the hearing aid works, because I guess it lets you read minds for so long before you have to release it to another person.
Oh, that's
and,
right.
He goes to the doctor. He's like, oh, I can't handle it anymore. And all of a sudden you hear the audio go like in reverse. And he leaves the doctor's office. Jack and Johnny and Mickey go in and find the doctor dead. And so the guy's like, oh, now I know how it works. Because by the time he left the doctor's office the second time, because the thoughts were released into another person's mind, the hearing aid kind of went back to normal.
So much like so many episodes with the Friday series, like part of this thing granting you usage is basically either killing people or passing on some. In this case, passing on all of the thoughts that go into his mind that starts to bulge out his face. Then he's got to go stare at someone, I guess, nose to nose, and transmit all the shit in reverse to this person, making them kind of they turn into a bloody pulp in the process.
So
and it's kind of like
say 3 kills and 2 deaths.
Sacrifice. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
think of the two deaths. What are you talking about?
Well, the two no, three
the
kills.
okay, yeah, because the perpetrator at the beginning died himself,
That himself,
and
and
then the
then
guy died
the new
himself at the
psychic
end.
guy had
Yeah.
to kill 3 people with every death. You know.
Yep. So invariably, that guy ends up killing his hot blonde partner because she stupidly got a room full of three people. Well, you can't
I
kill.
just want one.
You can't kill one person in a room of three
And have
people
witnesses.
and hope not to
Yeah.
get away scot free. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. I guess that's probably pretty much all I've got to say. I'd say it started strong, but as it wore on,
Oh, and Johnny ends up picking the hearing aid up at the end as the guy heads it. Well, because the ending I thought was kind of cool because
What
he's
was-
on this live TV show
Oh,
and
yeah,
he's trying to
Marshak.
work the crowd, and Marshak's, yeah, I know how this acts work. You have a take out your hearing aid because he's like, oh, ask me any question. He's like, yeah, before you do it, take out your hearing aid. And then Mickey joins in her thoughts, and Johnny joins in his thoughts, and then like too many. You can only really focus on one person at a time, so too many thoughts were causing his face to like bulge up and look like a bunch of.
pus, zit.
It was gross. It was kind of gross, and Jack's enforcing the fact that he's a fraud. That the hearing aid was really a transmitter from someone in the audience, and of course that person's not going to come forward because that person doesn't exist. But it put enough doubt in the audience's mind that, oh my God, because they had this $50,000 challenge.
I was gonna say that a part of this episode just happened to also be any member of the audience or anyone could come forward and try to disprove this guy's ability to win $50,000. They don't say whether Marshak won that or not. I hope so.
I don't know.
But
We'll see if
doubtful.
they're still in Curious Goods the next episode.
Yeah, maybe the old Mercedes will be a Magnum PI red Ferrari next
Maybe.
episode. Dun
But,
dun 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 dun.
Okay, we're on the
Dun 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 dun. We're on what? Friday the 13th. The
series.
The PI. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Magnum the 13th.
So I'm gonna give that
Let's see if ours match. Go ahead.
a notch above half.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna go half of a thumb.
You're gonna go just straight to the 9.
This big smile, and then it disappeared when I said half.
Well, we're pretty close this
Pretty
time.
close, yeah. It started like a notch under full, but as it wore on, it just kind of just dragged and dragged. By the time it's
Kind
over,
of like our review, huh?
yep. By the time it was over, half a star for me, notch above half for Beth.
And our next episode is episode 6, Bad Penny. And I'm going to say it's going to be a penny.
My guess is that it'll be a penny.
A cursed antique penny. Rare
From
coin. Or a rare coin.
1913.
Ooh.
What?
Why not 1813?
Okay, it's from 1713.
All
You
right.
win.
But we're both going to agree it's a rare coin or
I'd say
a penny.
I'd say a penny.
A bad penny.
Yep, they always turn up.
Ooh. Why'd you look at me like that?
All right, everyone.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.